Parkland, Portland, I solved that out. Kenya, please don't film anywhere. Okay, Kigombe or something like Kigombe. Where Kenyans, explain to me in the comment section below. They take your phone to be a full cattle. Safaricom, M-Pesa, very, very absolutely important. Ended up in some prison somewhere in Kenya and you guys had to come to rescue me. Hello guys, Jambo, karibuni sana. Welcome back guys to my channel. As you have seen from the thumbnail to the title of today's vlog, we are going to be talking about a couple of things. I have a list of over 12 things, but maybe more, maybe lesser than that, of things I wish I knew before traveling to Nairobi, Kenya. And this video in particular, I'm going to be focusing more on things that I truly believe that were very, very important, regardless of the fact that people from Nairobi are very benevolent and very, very, welcoming in nature. They also have their policies and standards, and regardless of the bliss that they emanate, there are things already in place that how I wish I knew some of these things. I should believe that my trip would even have been 100 times better. So allow me also, I'll try to use a little bit of Swahili. I've been trying to learn a little bit of Swahili, guys. For today's vlog, allow me, mimi ni mwalimu, wewe ni mwanafunzi. Yes. Also, before I dive into the vlog too, actually that meant that I'm going to be the teacher and you're going to be the students. Yeah, But before I dive into the vlog too, if this is the first time you're watching me, hi there. I'm Tanya ni Shylock, Mimi. Naitwa Tanya ni Shylock, Ugandan content creator from Kampala, Uganda. Recently I did visit Nairobi, Kenya, and it was one of the best things that I truly believe that has ever happened to me, especially in these mid-20s I'm rocking right now. I'm that kind of a person who most of the time doesn't go beyond my scope, but visiting Nairobi, Kenya, something switched in me, I kid you not. And according to the how I've been sharing the whole of my experience here, a lot of you guys, I truly believe, have also sensed the spark in that. So please make the point that you subscribe, like, comment, and share out with friends and family. And it is just an amazing experience that I really want to share, and I hope that I can touch a life, or I can pass on information that might be quite important to people out there. Yes, so I have my points, all of them aligned down here. So in case you guys see me looking down, that is absolutely okay. This brings me to the first point I really want to share. This is don't film anywhere. How I wish I knew this before traveling to Nairobi, Kenya. Please don't film anywhere. As I told you, regardless of the fact that people from Nairobi, generally, they are very cunning and benevolent kind of people. They have policies, and also the country, from a little bit of history, it was affected by terrorism, and it was really so bad. So they don't want you to be filming at different points. The good thing, you realize that at different points, especially where there are government kind of buildings or military kind of bases, or there are different missions or consulates, there are actually those different pictures already heightened up, so you can vividly see that I'm not allowed to film from here. We were very lucky that by the time we had the Nairobi night tour with Adeti, a friend from Nairobi, Kenya, we met online. It was not as tight as what I've been now seeing on social media, especially when it comes to police pulling groups with content creators from different countries. That is not amazing at all. But we were very lucky. As I told you, we had that Nairobi night tour and it was really good. We were actually not stopped at any point, and also I truly believe that Adeti was so wise to take us to points where we would only film, if that makes sense. But also the following day, we had a Nairobi drive-through tour with such an amazing, kind of driver. A lot of you guys loved that driver because he gave us concrete information, according to you guys. But actually, when you see that video, you realize that different points, he tells me, stop filming here, you can continue filming here, don't film there, film here. So please, don't be filming anywhere. That can have legal repercussions, I kid you not. I've seen a couple of videos and it's really not cute at all. It's really not cute at all. They can actually attach a felony on you, and that is not good, especially if you are in a foreign country as a person traveling there. Yes, don't film anywhere. Don't even try. Make the point that you have someone, ask them, or first of all, do your kind of pilot study on the place where you're going to be taking pictures or shooting videos. Then also, cameras and drones. I was very, very lucky also. Mind you, I have a very big camera, not a very big camera, that is like exaggerating, making it hyperbole. Yes, exaggerating, but I have a big camera, and I remember before I traveled to Nairobi, I was like, I asked Nef this particular evening, do I have to carry my big camera and all that? And she was like, you can text the airline and probably the airline and see that. And when I heard that I had to text the airline or send an email, I was like, oh, I'll not tamper with my camera. I'll just leave my camera at home. But they have really, really strong policies about people filming with big cameras, especially in the city. With what I told you guys earlier on about the terrorism, they really don't want to show, especially the mall kind of areas and all that. It is really very, very sensitive. And also for drones, I'll not even touch that. They don't want drones at all. Don't even tamper to fly your drone or camera around Nairobi, regardless of the estate. It will cost you, my dear. Yes. The second point I really want to talk about, and I'm also very particularly hyped on this one, they have foreign prices and local prices. Guys, I only thought that this is in Uganda. Let me kid you not. As soon as you start speaking your broken Swahili, they are going to spot you out. The locals will as easily and simply and swiftly, lavishly spot you out. And you are going to be paying now the foreign prices, which it is not fair, Kenyans. Let me know in the comment section below. Okay, also in Uganda, people do it, but I think it is not as rampant because... Kenyans, let me know in the comment section below. I'll not throw a lot of light on this point, but how I wish I knew this, I would prep myself with a little bit of Swahili. Mind you, by the time I traveled to Nairobi, Kenya, I didn't know a word in Swahili. I think I only knew Jambo. Yeah. Even Jambo was the last thing on my subconscious mind. Yes. So how I wish I knew a couple of words, a couple of sentences in Swahili. I truly believe that would also contribute. There are a couple of different scenarios where I remember people wanted to rip us off. And we were lucky, especially with the Ubers, that the Ubers display the amount of money that you're going to be paying them. But in case it was not for that, I kid you not, there is this one point where a driver wanted to scam us over 10,000, 15,000 Kenyan shillings for a trip on the Uber kind of application, which was around 1,600 Kenyan shillings. That is crazy. That is insane. Insane. But I now understand that maybe because the language, let me know in the comment section below. But how I wish I knew that. I think I would have equipped myself with a couple of phrases and sentences so that when I travel to Nairobi, at least I don't look like a very green kind of foreigner. This brings me to the third point I really also want to talk about. As I told you guys earlier on, people from Nairobi, they're just amazing people. They're just very supportive people. They emanate love. They emanate peace. They emanate that solidarity kind of thing we miss, especially in Uganda generally. I'll just say that. There is that unfathomable kind of love that really radiates from every person you're going to be meeting at the street, regardless of the fact that they're having a good day or bad day. I'm just very lucky that I didn't meet any Kenyan who was having a bad day. But they emanate love and peace and joy. But regardless of that, they also have issues. They are going through day-to-day, struggles like any other person, especially I relate that from where I come from back in Uganda. So the reason why I'm saying all this is that try to be free, but again, don't be so free to a point that you don't care, if that makes sense. Now, I'm bringing you to a point of your phone and your property, especially when you are in the city center around, the Nairobi city. make it a point that you can, try to get different it can be videos, it can be pictures, obviously at spots that are agreed from. But again, don't just, get out the phone and, for example, you are on a border, or you are in a car and the car windows are open, and, you are passing through the phone, whatever the case may be. People have issues, regardless of the fact that, there are these amazing people, they also have issues. Someone is gonna snatch your phone, so try to be as free as you can, but don't be stupid. I think that makes more sense. I wish I knew that, because there are a couple of moments that I truly now think that I would have recorded, and there would be amazing clips or memories to be made, but I was just so scared maybe to put out my camera, regardless of the fact that, at different points, like people were with, especially Kenyans, had told us that at these points you can take pictures and videos. But I just saw, I was not that comfortable, and I wish I was. I would have gotten a little bit more at different points, at different things. Right now, I look back and I was like, that really needed a picture, or that at that point we really needed a video. So try to be as open as you can, but also try to, don't pull on their areas, putting out all these gadgets in the air. People are going through a lot, and I remember there is a point where we were driving back from the giraffe center, and the driver told me that they call it a Kigombe or something like Kigombe, where Kenyans, explain to me in the comment section below, they take your phone to be a full cattle. I only can articulate and remember Kigombe. I can only remember Kigombe. Not articulate Kigombe, but remember Kigombe. It was a sentence of your phone is like Kigombe or something like that, meaning that phone, they look at it as a cattle. Hey, let me know in the comment section below, Kenyans, like the statement, the Swahili kind of statement. This brings me to the next point I really want to talk about, how I wish I knew this on the word go. I was looking through like a couple of, our spending on our trip, and looking back at all those different points. We had to pay money, we had to do this and use, the cashless kind of service. And I was also looking through M-Pesa to see how much, transaction costs that is. I kid you not, how I wish we knew from the word go before we entered into, Nairobi at the airport, that we had to register with M-Pesa. I kid you not, would have saved some good amounts of Kenyan shillings, because according to my math, I think we lost a couple of Kenyan shillings. I'll not be specific, but we lost a couple of Kenyan shillings only in doing, transactions, especially from the bank directly via the Visa card. But the transaction fees at M-Pesa or on M-Pesa, they are really very minimal, and it would have been easy to just get that money, put it on our M-Pesa kind of phone or line, and be able to do the transactions there. The other thing I really loved about Kenya so much is that their system, especially when it comes to economics, it is more of a cashless kind of system. So they are the elites of Eastafrica, if that makes sense. They are up there. They are the elites when it comes. They don't, even when you go to the market. Actually, when you go to the supermarket, when you go anywhere, you either use a card or M-Pesa, but M-Pesa is the commonest one. Then attached to that point also, how I wish I knew before I entered into Nairobi that I really needed a Safaricom line. I actually saw those talks around the bits of the airport, but it never crossed my mind that I might need them. I had this issue where my Ugandan lines, my Airtel and MTN lines, would not actually access the data kind of networks while I was out of my hotel. So I wouldn't access messages, I wouldn't see messages, I wouldn't send text, I wouldn't do anything. I had to rely on my friends so that they call the Ubers and do all the internet-y kind of stuff. But it is also something that I also didn't know, but I wish I knew. And I hope also that you guys, especially the ones planning to visit Nairobi, know. At the airport, there are Safari kind of stocks. When you reach there, please make it a favor for yourself. Go there, ask the information, get the Safaricom line. It will save you a lot. It will save you a lot, I kid you not. I was lucky that at my hotel, there was data, Wi-Fi this time around. only outside, that is when I wouldn't access the internet. But for another person, it might be quite different. You might be in a situation where you're at the place where they don't have Wi-Fi and you have to make either an important call, important kind of, internet kind of transaction, and you can't really access the internet. So just putting this out there so that you guys know. Safaricom, M-Pesa, very, very absolutely important. How can I continue without talking about the touristy kind of stuff I wish I knew before traveling to Nairobi, Kenya? And this is a tip for all East Africans. When you're going to Nairobi, Kenya, and you are from East Africa, make sure that you carry your national ID and you either a copy of your passport or picture or anything like that. Let me tell you why. As soon as I entered into the giraffe center, it was unfathomable for me. Locals, they're going to be paying this amount of money, and international kind of visitors are going to be paying this amount of money, and also people from East Africa, they are paying, I paid the same amount of money like the locals. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I almost forgot my national ID at my hotel, and the driver who took us to the giraffe center was like, "Oh, Tanya, make the point that you carry your national ID the night before. You will get a slice off from the giraffe center." It was sliced off. I kid you not. It was sliced off. I can't remember very well the amount of money, but I'll try to get the picture and put it on screen. So how I wish I also knew that from the word call, that there are different points where you can literally just put in your national ID or your passport as an East African, and you can get such discount. That would also be good, because you know what, we would have accessed more places because we knew that at least there is a discount. But again, there was a little bit of fear of how much we would spend at all these different places. Right now I know, and I hope you also know that from now. East Africans, national ID, your passports at different touristy kind of points, you'll get off a slice off from the entry fee. Now, I'm niching it down to East Africans. East Africans, regardless of the fact that you don't need a visa to enter into Nairobi, Kenya, that doesn't mean that you are going in there to work. How I wish I knew this, and I'm going to tell you my reasons why. Except you are entering in for pro bono work and you have a work permit or a student pass or any kind of permit, and that is only an exception for pro bono work. That is professional work, and their proceedings and everything is in alignment. But in case you don't have those documents, my dear, please don't just enter into Nairobi, Kenya and start working. I kid you not, they are going to hunt you down. Correct me if I'm wrong, Kenyans, in the comment section below. I'm saying this because after a couple of videos I put out, I had a long email from a Ugandan who went through all these persecutions about entering into Nairobi, and he was hunted down and imprisoned for a couple of months for working in Nairobi without the documents. How I wish I knew this. The reason why I'm saying so is that at the back of my mind, I actually knew that because we don't need visas to actually go to Kenya, generally as Ugandans, I just thought that I might wake up one morning and just pack my bags and move to Kenya, just like that. My dear, that it doesn't work like that. And that email saved me a lot. I kid you not. I kid you not. Regardless of the fact that, there is that understandable kind of commitment between the two countries or the three East African countries, that privacy is not allowed. Yeah, it is very, very unwelcomed. So make the point that you go through the right steps. As I think about packing my bags and entering into Nairobi, Kenya, maybe I would have ended up being a culprit and ended up in some prison somewhere in Kenya, and you guys had to come to rescue me. But how I wish I knew that. Go through the right steps. In case you want to stay in Kenya, in Nairobi, go through the right steps. Go to the Kenyan consulate in Uganda. Get all the information you need. Like, have a couple of permits. I'm not sure if there is a fee we have to pay as Ugandans, but I'm pretty sure that there are work permits, there are student passes, and there are a couple of other alternatives that can allow you to work and live in Nairobi, making friends and being free. Don't just roam around the streets of Nairobi, Kenya, when you don't know anyone there. It is also something I really want to talk about. And the reason why I'm saying so is that, guys, regardless of the fact that Nairobians are really very, very welcoming and amazing people and all these amazing things, I've talked about them. There is a class of people who are not as good as that. And that is literally rational to any community or country where you go to. So moving around alone in a new country, I understand solo traveling and all that, but make friends online, make friends online, get onto the internet, watch people, send them DMs, your community, your tribe will find you, and people will help you navigate Nairobi city. It is something that I actually came to really know how important it was as soon as we landed in Nairobi, Kenya. And we had our friend Adeti, we met online. Actually, Nefa and Hesire had met her, I believe 2 years ago or 3 years ago. Then I had just met her, but she was of really, really very, very amazing support to us, like a soft landing to us, taking us around the city, especially the Nairobi night tour, taking us for Nyama Choma in Roysambu. So it was really a good experience here. And now I understand that in case we didn't have any person such as Adeti, some of those experiences we wouldn't have experienced them. And it is the absolute truth. Do not roam around the streets of Nairobi when you are alone, because also you can get problems from there. Remember that you are a foreigner in a country where you don't know even your way. So just make friends and interact, and in case, for the worst of the worst, make sure that you talk to the police. Please don't film employees in different workplaces. For example, supermarkets, for example, busy commercial kind of businesses. Please don't. It is a mistake I did make. And when you know better, Maya Angelou says that when you know better, you do better. This time around, it is not something that I really knew, but when I go back and read through the policies and guidelines and all that of Nairobi, Kenya, it is something I really did unconsciously, but right now I know better and I'll do better. Please don't go around exposing people at their workplaces. It is really not professional and it is really not good. Let me know in the comment section below, guys. In case you need to film someone, ask a consent from them. Yes, it will save you the burden of guilt, and it will also save the other person. Why are you exposing them in the first place, And I don't want to sound diabolical nor insidious, but try your best to learn Swahili. Yes, try your best to really, really learn Swahili, regardless of the fact that it might be broken Swahili. I know. It sounds very, very ridiculous, especially for your first trip while, in a new kind of environment with new people. But please, that is the only way you're going to be able to connect with people. Try your best to learn a few phrases from Swahili. Try your best to interact with people in their language. It will be really of very, very big help to you and also to the people finding a way on how to help you navigate the community. Personally, right now, I've been trying my best so that I learn Swahili. I've made a couple of friends from Nairobi, Kenya, and it's such a good feeling for me, especially as a person who loves people and who love exploring new cultures and having that cultural kind of exchange between Uganda and our neighboring countries. Actually, through my research, I did find out that in Kenya, there is a tribe called the Luya. And when the Luya speak, it is kind of similar to Uganda. Let me know in the comment section below, but when the Luya guys speak, I can pick words. They're just a couple of Ugandan syllables and verbs that are changed somehow, but I can actually hear most of the conversation. I've actually not told Nef this, But yeah, it is absolutely very true. But the point is, try your best so that you immerse in their culture. Try your best. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that's the only way you're going to be able to connect with them. I kid you not, when I start speaking my Swahili, regardless of the fact that it's broken, that is when I can literally penetrate and have more meaningful conversations with people. They're willing to help me, they're willing to blossom with me, they're willing to help me, and it's such a good feeling. I wanted to give you a couple of sentences, guys, that I've been really learning, and it's such an amazing feeling. Okay, there is habari yako, which is how are you. There is unatoka wapi, where are you from. There is jina lako ni nani, what is your name. And also there are verbs and syllables. I don't know if you guys can see very well. I'm really willing to learn. There are verbs and syllables. I think you guys can see. Yeah, I'm really putting it at my heart to see that I learn. And all this book, it has all this. So the reason why I'm saying this is that, especially when you are traveling to Nairobi, Kenya, try your best to see that you immerse yourself in the culture. And their culture starts with their language, which is, right now I know that it is the national language from the previous interaction I've had with the videos I've been putting out, because in the last video I asked you guys, is it your national language or your official language? And you guys gave me the right answers. I don't want to repeat that, but yeah, I didn't know that, but I wish I knew it before I traveled to Nairobi, Kenya. I think it would have also altered the way how I connected more with people, regardless of the fact that I don't regret a lot, but I wish I knew that. When you're traveling at night, use safer options of travel. And the reason why I'm saying this is that, regardless of the fact that, as I said earlier on, Nairobi, it's ranked amongst, right now, the safest countries. You never know, especially while you're traveling beyond 10, 11, 12. And that is already late. Yeah, that is already late. But Ubers, I truly believe that you can order like an Uber or anything like that. Let me know in the comment section below, Kenyans. What would you recommend? But according to my perspective, especially from the history of Nairobi city and things that have been happening in Nairobi city, I would opt for you or any person visiting Nairobi, Kenya, not for you guys, but any person visiting Nairobi, Kenya, and they're unfamiliar with the place, to use, especially when it is beyond 7 in the night, just use a safer option, which would be an Uber or a safe transportation means. Yes, and also before you order this Uber to come, make sure you look into the history. How many rides have this person had over the period of time they have been driving. And yeah, I truly believe that it is safer. We used them all throughout our trip while we were in Nairobi, but in those night hours, I truly felt even much safer in an environment where I can be able to track the person driving the car in case of anything. Because mind you, I'm in a new environment, I don't know my way around, I literally know nothing around. Yes, insurance, and especially for people entering into Nairobi, Kenya, there is a mandatory kind of insurance policy. As foreigners, we have to, pay in, especially while living in Kenya, especially for a particular period of time. How I wish I knew this from the word go. I didn't know this, but it was too late. We were already in Nairobi, Kenya, and we had some health issues, especially with my good bestie, Nef. We had to rush her to the hospital. Her insurance was not working from the States. But right now, according to the information I have about insurance policies, especially for visitors or foreigners in Nairobi, Kenya, I wish we had registered from the word go. I think we would have scored some good points that would help us clear off the bill, especially, you guys, Aga Khan, the bill, Aga Khan. But it would have actually helped us a lot to slice off a chunk of money in case we had registered at the airport or registered prior before we came into the country. And I really want to read out a couple of these kind of insurance companies because I really don't know them personally, and I want Kenyans to help me in the comment section below to please help me what is the best I can use when I'm coming back. Yes, because I'm coming back. Yes. There is Apple International Insurance Company, there is Pacific Prime, and there is also Indigo. Yeah, there are also a couple of expatriates kind of insurance companies that I didn't know about. Yeah, let me in the comment section below in case Kenyans know about this information. It would really be of very much value. With that said, guys, I really want to come to the end of today's vlog. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I've been seeing all your comments. You guys came in hard for me. I've been seeing everything, and I'm just so grateful and happy to be in a position where I can be able to share information, and it can shift the way how a lot of you guys think about your country, and also for future references, because these videos are going to be watched even in 10 years from now. So I'm really very proud of myself and proud of you guys of coming along on this journey. And yeah, the next vlog that I really want to put out there, it is gonna be a little bit controversial, so please don't miss it out. Parkland, Portland, I solved that out, so no worries, no wahala. So thank you very much, you guys, for watching the vlog. Let me meet you in my next one. Kwaheri, correct me if I'm wrong. Kwaheri means bye for now, but bye for now, guys. Make the point that you follow me on my Instagram. Most of the time I'm very active there. And yeah, let me meet you in my next one. Tanya and Shylock switching out. Bye for now.